Hi, I'm Christian Sakamoto with Plan Your Federal Retirement. And I get this question asked a lot is, when's the best time to take Social Security? Or when should I take Social Security? Now, that answer is really going to depend on your unique situation. But what I'd like to share with you is some of the thought processes that we have when we're speaking with our clients on just being able to answer that question. And so let's kind of go through the rules with Social Security, right? The soonest that you can take it, which is considered early, is 62, and the latest that you can take Social Security is 70. That's considered delayed. Now, somewhere in the middle, depending on when you were born, it's either 66 or 67, or somewhere in the middle there, is your full retirement age. So if we take it sooner than our full retirement age, that's considered early. And so with that benefit is going to be reduced. If we delay it past our full retirement age, that means it's called delayed, and that means our benefit is going to be greater. If you're still working and you're thinking about turning on Social Security before your full retirement age of between 66 and 67, really wouldn't recommend turning that Social Security on, because you're going to be subject to something called an earnings test or an earnings limitations test, which I'm going to round here for 2022. If you make above roughly $19,000 or so, maybe closer to $20,000, then your Social Security would be dramatically reduced for any dollar you make above that. And so we really don't recommend that. Now, if you're working past full retirement age, well, you can actually turn on your Social Security if you'd like, and you wouldn't be subject to the earning limitations test. So first action item for you guys, I'd encourage you guys to go and get your most recent estimated Social Security statement. So go to socialsecurity.gov and just pull up what those numbers are. They update every single year. And so on that statement, what's really helpful is it breaks down every single year between 62 and 70 what your estimated benefits are expected to be. So now let's think about that for a second. Those benefits are the gross number, right? And so it doesn't factor in any Medicare premiums, and it also doesn't factor in any taxes that are on top of that, federally and sometimes on the state level as well. So that number that you see on the Social Security statement is the gross number. You're going to have taxes and Medicare that comes out of that, so it's going to be less than that, right? On that Social Security statement that it doesn't reflect is any cost of living adjustments. So once you turn on your Social Security, you're going to get a cost of living adjustment every single year. Most of the time, it's an increase in your Social Security. That also applies before you take your benefits out, before you turn on Social Security. You actually get a cost of living adjustment every single year that's added to your Social Security amount, which is really neat. And so in general, a lot of times what we're recommending is our clients delay when they take their Social Security out. Usually at least till their full retirement age. Ideally, we're looking to have them push it out to 70. And here's why. If you delay it between your full retirement age and 70, you get an 8% per year guaranteed rate of return increase on your Social Security, not factoring in any of those cost of living adjustments as well. And so what we have to ask the question is, where else are we getting a guaranteed 8% rate of return backed by the US government? And I don't have an answer for that. And so what we have to do is look at the alternative is, great, if we turn this money on, now we're kind of giving up that guaranteed 8% rate of return. Versus alternatively, if we took money from other sources, let's say our TSP, our bank accounts, right? We turn that money on instead to let our Social Security income grow. That would mean we'd get a guaranteed 8% rate of return on our Social Security. So that's how we like to think about it. Now, there's other rules there as well if you're married, right? And what's the spousal benefits going to be? Now, if both spouses worked, great. Those Social Security amounts are most likely going to be higher than if just one spouse worked and the other spouse really didn't have a career. Because with that, there's going to be the spousal benefits that they can get half of the highest Social Security, which is really neat. And so when you take your Social Security amount, affects the spousal benefits there as well. Now, as always, when it comes time to planning for your unique situation, it's going to come down to, it depends, right? Ideally, we're looking at delaying it as late as possible, as long as we can plan for cash flow to make that work, right? Let's say your goal is spending $5,000 a month and your FERS pension is $2,000 a month. Great, so now we just need to solve for $3,000. Well, if we've saved well over our working career, we might have a large TSP or large retirement accounts that we can draw from. And in that sense, we can delay when we take Social Security out because we can take distributions from our TSP to make up the difference. And then eventually, when we turn our Social Security on, that just means it's going to be even higher. So I want you guys to be thinking about that, when to take Social Security out. You know, there's no perfect answer, but in a perfect world, it would be that we would delay it, get that guaranteed growth rate. Now, there's other factors there as well. You know, some things to be thinking about would be, you know, longevity. All right, if that's a concern, well, there could be an argument to take it sooner, right? Maybe the other factor would be that there just isn't enough sources of income. Maybe our TSP isn't big enough, or whatever the case may be, where if we delayed it, it would actually be detrimental to our financial health. So we would just take it case by case there. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you have a comment, if you have a question, please jump on to planyourfederalretirement.com. Send us an email, leave a comment there. We'd love to review it. We'd love to do another video about it. So until next time, happy planning.